Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the issues surrounding a dramatic Friday, November 14th episode that promises to shake Port Charles to its core with life-changing decisions, family loyalties tested, and shocking confrontations that will leave viewers on the edge of their seats. Rocco's heroic sacrifice. The tension reaches a breaking point as Rocco Falconeri finds himself in the most precarious situation of his young life, after making the ultimate sacrifice to protect his friends Danny Morgan and Charlotte Casadini from facing serious consequences. Rocco now stands alone to face the fury of Professor Henry Hank Dalton. The professor's rage is palpable as he physically drags the teenager out of the research laboratory, demanding immediate justice for what he perceives as a serious breach of security and protocol. Dalton's insistence on seeing Rocco placed in handcuffs sends shockwaves through everyone present, and the situation quickly escalates into a full-blown crisis that threatens to destroy multiple families. However, Rocco isn't without powerful protection. Laura Collins, Port Charles' formidable mayor, and Rocco's fiercely protective grandmother, steps forward with absolute authority and makes a declaration that echoes through the halls. Nobody is going to arrest her grandson, not on her watch. Her steely determination and unwavering resolve become the shield that Rocco desperately needs in this moment of vulnerability. Laura's presence transforms the scene from a simpler situation into a high-stakes political and familial showdown that will have far-reaching consequences for everyone involved. Laura's ultimate decision. Friday's episode will showcase intense bickering and heated exchanges as various parties clash over how to handle Rocco's situation. The arguments fly fast and furious, with Dalton demanding accountability, Laura insisting on protecting her family, and others trying to find middle ground in an increasingly polarized situation. But beneath all the conflict, Laura is quietly calculating what she must do to save her grandson from potential criminal charges that could derail his entire future. The weight of this decision shows clearly on her face as she contemplates actions that will change everything. The sacrifice Laura contemplates is nothing short of devastating for her political career. Whispers suggest that she may abandon the crucial mayoral debate, an event that could determine the future leadership of Port Charles. Even more shocking, there are indications that Laura might withdraw from the mayoral race entirely, effectively ending her political aspiration to shield Rocco from the legal nightmare looming before him. This represents an impossible choice between her duty to Port Charles and her love for her family, and viewers will watch with bated breath as Laura weighs the cost of each option. Whatever path she chooses, the price will be extraordinarily high, and the ramifications will extend far beyond this single incident. Charlotte's confession. Meanwhile, Charlotte Casadini finds herself in the uncomfortable position of having to explain the entire mess to her father Dante Falconeri and Lulu Spencer. The young girl carries the burden of knowing exactly what transpired in that research laboratory, and now she must decide how much truth to reveal. Dante, ever the detective, approaches this conversation with professional precision despite his personal involvement. He instructs Charlotte to begin her account from the very beginning, leaving nothing out, omitting no details regardless of how small or seemingly insignificant they might appear. His tone makes it clear that half-truths and omissions will not be tolerated. The question hanging in the air is whether Charlotte will find the courage to disclose the complete story, including all the planning, decisions, and actions that led to this crisis. Will she protect her friends by carefully editing her version of events, or will she provide the full, unvarnished truth that might help resolve the situation but could also implicate others? Charlotte's conscience wars with her loyalty, and the internal struggle is evident as she prepares to speak. The information she provides could either save Rocco or make matters considerably worse, and everyone present understands the gravity of this moment. Gio's rescue plan. Giovanni Joe Palmieri receives the disturbing news about Rocco's predicament and immediately springs into action. When he shares what he's learned with Emma Scorpio Drake, His confidence and determination shine through despite the serious nature of the situation. Joe reassures Emma that everything will be okay, his voice carrying a conviction that suggests he has already formulated a strategy to address this crisis. His declaration that he knows exactly what to do demonstrates a level of maturity and problem-solving ability that belies his youth. Gio's commitment to fixing this mess for Rocco reveals the deep bonds of friendship that exist among the younger generation in Port Charles. He won't stand by passively while his friend faces potential arrest and life-altering consequences. Instead, Joe prepares to take decisive action, drawing on resources and connections that might surprise those who underestimate him. His plan, whatever it may be, represents hope in what seems like a hopeless situation, and Rocco may soon discover that having friends like Joe is worth more than gold. Jason's interrogation. At another location in Port Charles, Jason Morgan channels his investigative instincts as he puts his son Danny through a thorough interrogation. Jason's questions are direct and uncompromising as he demands to know whose idea it was to break into the research laboratory in the first place. His tone makes it clear that he expects complete honesty, and Danny realizes there's no point in attempting to deceive his father, who has decades of experience reading people and detecting deception. Danny may ultimately confess that Emma and Joe initially approached the teenagers with the laboratory infiltration idea, presenting it as something exciting and relatively harmless. However, the situation became complicated when Emma had second thoughts and called off the entire plan. Despite Emma's withdrawal, Danny and the others decided to proceed anyway, believing they could handle it without adult guidance. This revelation will likely add another layer of complexity to the entire situation, as it demonstrates that the teenagers knowingly ignored warnings and moved forward with a plan that even its originators had deemed too risky. Britt's dangerous move. Elsewhere, Britt Westburn picks up her phone with trembling hands and makes a call that could change everything. Her voice carries urgency as she insists she absolutely must see someone immediately, that this cannot wait another moment. The identity of the person she's calling appears to be Jen Sidwell, a connection that promises explosive developments. Britt is preparing for what can only be described as a heated, potentially dangerous confrontation that will require all her courage and cunning. When Britt comes face to face with Sidwell, the gloves come off entirely. She unleashes threats designed to protect Rocco from whatever machinations or consequences Sidwell might have in mind. Britt's maternal instincts and fierce protective nature emerge in full force as she makes it abundantly clear that she will do whatever necessary to ensure Rocco's safety. The confrontation crackles with tension as two formidable personalities clash, each determined to achieve their objectives regardless of the cost. Britt's willingness to go toe-to-toe with someone as potentially dangerous as Sidwell demonstrates the lengths she'll go to protect those she cares about. New partnerships and family relief. In a quieter subplot, Harrison Chase and Nathan West begin the process of getting to know each other as newly assigned work partners. The two officers navigate the sometimes awkward initial stages of a professional partnership, learning each other's working styles, strengths, and approaches to law enforcement. Their dynamic promises to be interesting as they figure out how to coordinate effectively in the field, and viewers will enjoy watching this partnership develop over time. Meanwhile, Molly Lansing Davis arrives at a Lexus Davis location bearing wonderful news that brings much-needed relief to the family. Molly's visible relief in Thursday's episode likely stems from Rick's clean bill of health following his recent ordeal. Rick continues to maintain the fiction that he escaped from a dangerous cult rather than revealing the truth about Alexis' basement. And Alexis seems content to allow Molly to continue believing this version of events. The shared secret between Alexis and Rick creates an unusual bond, and both seem willing to protect Molly from the more disturbing reality of what actually transpired. Rick's bold proposal. Finally, General Hospital spoilers reveal that Rick Lansing will make a surprise visit to Sonny Corinthos with a proposal that could reshape their complicated relationship. Rick arrives with a clear agenda. He wants to prove his value to Sunny in concrete, undeniable terms. This isn't just about rebuilding bridges or healing old wounds. Rick is actively seeking employment and a defined role in Sunny's organization. Rick's pitch likely involves joining Sunny's legal team, where his considerable legal expertise could provide significant benefits in navigating the complex legal challenges that constantly threaten Sunny's business interests. Alternatively, Rick may propose other ways he can make himself indispensable, offering skills and connections that could prove valuable for the right compensation. The question is whether Sunny will be willing to trust Rick enough to bring him into his inner circle, or if their troubled history will prove too difficult to overcome. Sunny's reaction to this unexpected proposal will be fascinating to watch, as he weighs the potential benefits against the very real risks of working closely with someone as unpredictable as Rick Lansing. Next, we will learn about the escalating tensions in Port Charles as Willow Tate's jealousy boils over, potentially putting Michael's new flame, Jacinda Bracken, in serious peril. In the shadowy undercurrents of General Hospital's latest twists, whispers among the elite circles suggest that Willow Tate is harboring a dangerous resolve to eliminate Jacinda Bracken from the picture once and for all. This simmering vendetta stems from Willow's growing paranoia that her once solid family unit with Michael Corinthos is fracturing under the weight of his budding connection with the enigmatic Jacinda. Picture this: Jacinda, a sharp-witted newcomer with a mysterious past tied to high-stakes corporate dealings in New York, initially stepped into Michael's life as a calculated ally. She volunteered to pose as his romantic interest to solidify an ironclad alibi during a heated legal battle involving shady business rivals who accused him of insider trading. But what started as a scripted charade has evolved into something far more electric: stolen glances across crowded boardrooms, late-night strategy sessions that linger too long, and a chemistry that's impossible to ignore. Fans speculate that Jacinda's tough exterior, forged from years navigating Wall Street's cutthroat world, is cracking under Michael's genuine charm, hinting she might trade her fake role for a real partnership that could upend Willow's world. The catalyst for Willow's unease hit like a thunderbolt during a seemingly innocent outing at the Metro Court Gardens, where the sun-dappled terrace buzzed with Port Charles socialites sipping mimosas. There sat Michael, his broad shoulders relaxed for the first time in months, flanked by Jacinda and little wily Corinthos, whose giggles echoed as he chased Bubbles across the patio. To any onlooker, they formed an idyllic trio: a devoted father, a poised companion, and a cherubic child evoking the picture-perfect family Willow once claimed as her own. But for Willow, lurking from a nearby table with a half-finished latte, it was a gut-wrenching vision of replacement. Her mind raced with vivid flashbacks, the custody hearings where she fought tooth and nail, only to lose ground when Michael's resources tipped the scales. Now, seeing Jacinda effortlessly bond with Wiley, perhaps sharing a story about her own adventurous childhood travels, or handing him a toy from her designer bag, Willow felt the sting of obsolescence. This wasn't just about an alibi anymore. It screamed of a new chapter where Willow was the footnote. Willow's discomfort deepened into outright hostility when she confronted the reality of Michael's parental authority. With full custody secured after a grueling court drama involving allegations of her unstable behavior, Michael holds the reins on who influences Wiley and baby Amelia. They could invite Jacinda to family picnics, bedtime readings, or even holiday celebrations without a whisper of Willow's approval. Imagine Willow's internal turmoil as she envisions Jacinda cooing over Amelia's first steps or helping Wiley with his homework, weaving herself into the fabric of their daily lives. Willow has vocalized her objections in heated exchanges, pulling Michael aside in the Quartermain Mansion's dimly lit library to hiss, "She's not family. Michael, she's a temporary shield. Keep her away from our kids before she poisons their minds with her city slicker ways." Yet Michael, ever the protector, counters with calm logic, reminding her that his decisions safeguard their children's future. This power imbalance only fuels Willow's resentment, turning her protective instincts into a possessive fire. As the lines between pretense and passion blur, Willow's radar picks up on the authenticity blooming between Michael and Jacinda. Late evening walks along the waterfront docks, where they discuss everything from ELQ's latest mergers to personal dreams of escaping Port Charles drama, reveal a vulnerability neither anticipated. Jacinda confesses in a hushed tone during one such stroll, "I came here for business, Michael, but you've made me question if there's room for something real in this chaos." Michael, touched by her candor, admits his growing reliance on her strength amid family betrayals. If this evolves into a legitimate romance, perhaps sealed with a public declaration at the next nurse's ball, Willow's fragile composure could shatter. Her history of emotional volatility, marked by impulsive decisions that ripple through the town, positions her on a razor's edge. Port Charles veterans recall how Willow's insecurities once led to obsessive pursuits, like shadowing potential threats to her circle with unyielding determination. Delving deeper into Willow's darker tendencies, General Hospital enthusiasts can't overlook her track record of crossing boundaries when cornered. Take the infamous saga with Daisy Gilmore. Willow, convinced Daisy posed a romantic threat to her alliances, tailed her relentlessly through the back alleys of the Floating Rib and even the serene Kelly's Diner, leaving anonymous notes that escalated into outright intimidation. Daisy's departure from town, bundling her belongings and vanishing overnight, was no coincidence. Willow's relentless pressure forced her hand, all in the name of protecting her turf. Similarly, Sasha Gilmore Corbin's abrupt exit with her infant daughter bore the scars of Willow's meddling. Whispered confrontations in the park turned into psychological warfare, with Willow dropping subtle hints about Sasha's vulnerabilities until the weight became unbearable. These episodes paint Willow as a woman whose love twists into control, her actions justified in her mind as necessary defenses. Adding fuel to the speculation, recent rumors swirl around the mysterious shooting of Drew Kane. Willow vehemently denies involvement, claiming she was miles away at a charity event. But forensic inconsistencies and her evasive demeanor during police questioning raise eyebrows. Was it a moment of blind rage, triggered by Drew's interference in Corinthos family matters? Michael's instincts, honed by years of navigating betrayals, from Sonny's empire to Carly's schemes, lead him to view Willow through a lens of caution. In private moments with Jason Morgan over whiskey at the warehouse, Michael confides, "She's not the same woman I fell for. There's a storm brewing." And Jacinda's caught in the eye. He recalls Willow's unhinged outbursts during their divorce proceedings, where she trashed the nursery in a fit of fury, scattering toys like shrapnel. This awareness makes Michael hypervigilant, installing discreet security at his home and advising Jacinda to vary her routines, perhaps opting for the scenic route through the harbor instead of predictable paths. Yet, even he underestimates the depths of Willow's resolve, her ability to manipulate narratives, as seen when she swayed public opinion against Nina Reeves in the baby swap scandal, suggests she could orchestrate Jacinda's downfall with surgical precision. The looming threat to Jacinda manifests in subtle omens that heighten the drama. Anonymous texts warning her to stay away from what's mine arrive on her phone during board meetings, unsigned but laced with intimate details about Michael's habits. Jacinda brushes them off at first, attributing them to jealous exes in her past. But a chilling encounter outside the Metro Court, where a shadowed figure whispers threats about family first, sends chills down her spine. Willow's potential playbook could range from psychological sabotage, like spreading rumors of Jacinda's fabricated embezzlement ties to drive her from ELQ, to more sinister plots involving staged accidents on the winding roads to the Quartermain estate. Envision a tense scene in the dimly lit catacombs beneath the hospital, where Willow corners a confidant like Maxie Jones, probing for weaknesses. Jacinda thinks she can waltz in and take my place. I'll make sure she regrets every step. This evolution positions Jacinda not just as an alibi, but as a target in a high-stakes game where Willow's unhinged side could unleash chaos. Beyond the immediate rivalry, this brewing conflict ripples into broader Port Charles intrigue. Michael's alliance with Jacinda might draw scrutiny from the Casa Dini faction, who view her corporate savvy as a threat to their shadowy operations. Potentially allying with Willow in unexpected ways. Meanwhile, Willow's release from any lingering legal constraints, perhaps a dropped charge in the Kane shooting, unleashes her fully into the fray, amplifying risks for everyone involved. Fans buzz with theories. Could Jacinda uncover a hidden Corinthos secret that binds her closer to Michael? Or will Willow's machinations force a tragic confrontation at the annual Halloween Mask Gala? The possibilities are endless, laced with the soap's signature blend of romance, revenge, and redemption. General Hospital's narrative masterfully weaves these threads, keeping viewers on the edge with cliffhangers that promise explosive revelations. As Willow's shadows lengthen over Jacinda's path, the question lingers: will Michael's new love survive the storm, or become another casualty in Port Charles' endless saga of heartbreak? Stay tuned for the latest updates, because in this town, danger lurks around every corner, and no one's safe from the past catching up.